My name is Ma Rose, and my only child is my pride. Her name is Mabna. When I look at her, I see all my prayers standing in front of me. Big brown eyes, small sharp nose, and that stubborn mouth that always wants to argue but still kisses my cheek before school. She is only 15, but in my eyes, she is still my little girl who used to sleep with her thumb in her mouth. From the time she was small, I promised myself one thing. My daughter will grow pure. No early boys. No foolishness. No mistakes like mine. So I watched her carefully as she grew. When boys started looking at her on the street, I changed her route to school. When she first got a phone, I checked it sometimes when she was sleeping. Not to control her, but to protect her. Or that is what I told myself. For a long time, I was proud. There were no strange calls, no secret photos. She came home early, did her homework, helped me in the kitchen. In church, when the pastor said, "May your children not bring shame to your door," I always whispered, "Amen." My Mabna will never do that. Then the corset started. It was one Monday morning. I was in our small kitchen, making tea, when she walked in wearing her school uniform. At first I thought my eyes were playing with me. Her waist looked different. Smaller. Her shirt was flat and tight on her. Her back was straight like a stick. "Mabna, come here," I said. She gave me that teenage smile. "Good morning, Ma," she said, and kissed my cheek quickly. "Turn around," I told her. "Ma, I'm late," she said. Her hand was already on her bag. "Just turn around." She sighed and turned. I touched her back. Under the cloth, I felt something hard and stiff. "What is this thing you are wearing?" I asked. "It's just a corset, Ma." "Relax," she said, laughing a little. "It makes my shape nice. All the girls are wearing it now." "A corset? To school?" I frowned. "Is this a fashion show?" She rolled her eyes, but still kept her voice sweet. "Ma, it's not a big deal. I'm still the same person. I still read my books. I still come home early. I'm still your good girl." And that part was true. She was not running wild in the streets. She was not coming home at midnight. She was not shouting at me like other girls did to their mothers. She was still helpful, still gentle, just tighter at the waist. I told myself, maybe I am old-fashioned. Times change. Girls now like makeup, nails, and small bags. Maybe it is normal. But something inside me was not at peace. In the days that followed, the corset became a part of her. Every morning, I saw the same routine. She would wake up early, bathe, stand in front of the mirror, and then I would see her wrap the corset around her body and pull it tight. I would hear the soft sound of the hooks closing. Click, click, click. "Does it not hurt you?" I asked one day. She smiled. "Beauty is pain, Ma. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing." She said it with such confidence that I almost believed her. Sometimes, when she thought I was not looking, she checked herself in the mirror again, turning left and right, smoothing her shirt over the corset. Her face would change. She would look satisfied, like someone who knew she had a secret. I did not know then that the corset was not just fashion. I did not know it was a signal. A silent message to someone. A message I could not see. All I knew was that my daughter was growing, and I was holding her with open hands, trusting her, proud of her, loving her. I did not know that very soon, the same daughter who wore a corset to school would stand in front of me with tears in her eyes. And my world would break. The week after the corset began, I tried to watch Mabna without letting her know. It felt strange, spying on my own daughter. But something inside me whispered, "Be careful, Rose. Something is happening." Every morning, she stood straighter, walked lighter, and spent more time choosing earrings, lip gloss, even perfume. I asked myself, is this what teenage girls do? Or is she dressing for someone? But I trusted her. I wanted to trust her. She was my child. One morning, I decided to walk her halfway to school. I told her I wanted some fresh air, but really I wanted to see how she behaved outside the house. As we walked, she kept checking her phone. Not normal checking. It was nervous checking, like she was waiting for a message she didn't want me to see. "Who is texting you?" I asked casually. She tucked the phone into her pocket. "Just the class WhatsApp group," she answered too quickly. The lie was small, but it scratched my heart like a thorn. At the school gate, I said goodbye and watched her join her friends. Then something happened that made me stop breathing for a moment. A boy was leaning on a tree near the gate. Tall, slim, fair-skinned with a sharp jaw and confident smile. When he saw Mabna, his eyes lit up. They didn't talk, but they exchanged a look, quick, secret, familiar. That was the first time I saw Ivan, though I didn't know his name yet. He wasn't a troublemaker from the look of him. He looked respectful enough. But the way he watched my daughter, like she belonged to him, made my stomach twist. I told myself, maybe it is nothing. Maybe it is just teenage admiration. But deep down, I knew, eyes never lie. I left the gate with a heavy heart. That afternoon, I got to school earlier than usual to pick her up. I wanted to surprise her. I wanted to see who she talked to after class. But when the bell rang, she didn't come out with her friends. Minutes passed. Students left in groups. Teachers locked classrooms. Still no Mabna. I walked to the classroom. It was empty. The washrooms, empty. The canteen, empty. My heartbeat got louder. Where is she? Then I saw Ivan again. He was leaving the side path behind the science block. He looked around quickly before walking toward the main gate. When he saw me, his eyes widened a little, but he pretended not to know me and kept walking fast. Something felt wrong. I walked toward the science block, each step heavy. Behind it was a small teacher's shed, mostly used for marking papers or private conversations. And then, I heard it. Voices. Low. Close. One of them was my daughter's. I moved quietly around the corner, but before I reached the shed, the door opened. It wasn't Mabna who came out. It was Mr. Edu, the English teacher. Tall. Well-dressed. 30 years old. A man respected by parents, loved by students. He had a calm face, but when he stepped out, he looked worried. He kept checking his watch. He didn't see me, and I didn't see Mabna behind him because she was still inside. But I felt it. A cold fear spreading through my body. I didn't confront him. I didn't shout. I walked away quickly before anyone noticed me. My hands were shaking. My breath felt short, like I had been running. Why was my daughter in a closed room with a grown teacher? Why was he leaving quietly? Why did Ivan appear before him? That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the day in my mind. Mabna's new corset. Her secretive smile. The texts. Ivan's watchful eyes. And Mr. Edu stepping out of that shed. Something was wrong. Something deep. I didn't know it yet, but everything was only beginning. Soon, the truth would come with a force so heavy. It would change my life forever. The morning after I saw Mr. Edu leaving the shed, I watched Mabna with new eyes. She looked tired. Her face was still beautiful, but there was something different in her eyes. A heaviness. A small fear. She moved slower, and when she stretched her arms to wear her uniform, She winced a little, as if her body was hurting her. "Mabna, are you okay?" I asked. She quickly smiled. Too quickly. "I'm fine, Ma. Maybe I slept wrong." But I wasn't convinced. "Not anymore." As she put on her corset, I stepped closer. "Let me help you," I offered. But she jumped back. "No, Ma. I can do it. Please." Her reaction was too sharp, too desperate. My heart tightened. She tightened the corset so much that I could almost hear her ribs complaining. Then she covered it with her uniform, brushed her hair, applied small lip gloss, and gave me a kiss. "Bye, Ma. Love you." And she left. I stood there, frozen. My daughter had secrets. And I was losing her without knowing how. That day, I decided to visit the school again. I told myself I was only going to deliver PTA forms, but my spirit knew I was going for something else. When I entered the compound, I saw him, Ivan, leaning against the corridor wall, pretending to read a book. But his eyes were not on the pages, they were scanning the walkway like he was waiting for someone. As I walked past, he quickly closed the book. His hands shook a little. "Good afternoon," he said politely. "Good afternoon," I answered, watching him closely. "You are in Form 3, right?" "Yes, Ma," he said. "I know I know your daughter." The way he corrected himself made my skin crawl. "How do you know her?" I asked gently. He swallowed hard. We are classmates." Before I could ask more, a teacher called him from the staff room. He ran off quickly, almost too quickly, like someone escaping. I stood there alone. My heart was beating again, fear, confusion, suspicion all mixed like storm clouds. School closed at 2:40 p.m. But at 2:50, Mabna still hadn't come out. I waited. 3 p.m. Still nothing. I tried calling her phone. It rang once, then stopped. Someone had cut the call. That moment, something inside me broke. I walked fast, not to the classroom, not to the canteen, but to the back of the science block. The same place I saw Mr. Edu last time. I don't know what guided me. A mother's instinct is stronger than any compass. And then, I saw her. Not inside a room. Not with anyone. But sitting alone behind the block. Crying. Her knees were pulled to her chest, her hair messy, her corset loosened halfway like she had been struggling to breathe. "Mabna." I ran to her. She looked up, eyes red, tears dropping. She wiped her face quickly like she was scared I would see the truth written there. "Ma, what are you doing here?" she whispered. "What happened? Why are you crying?" I knelt beside her. She shook her head violently. "Nothing. It's nothing. I just feel stressed." "Stress does not make a girl hide behind a building to cry," I said softly. She looked away. "Please, Ma. Can we go home?" Her voice broke on the last word. I held her hand and helped her stand. As she stood up, she placed a hand on her stomach. It was a small gesture, almost invisible. But I saw it. A soft protective touch. A reflex. A sign. Fear shot through me like cold water. Was she sick? Was she hurt? Or was something else happening? As we walked away, she leaned on me a little. And I realized something. My daughter was carrying a secret so heavy. Even her corset could not hold it together. And whatever it was, I felt the truth was getting closer. Dangerously close. The ride home that day was silent. Too silent. Usually, Mabna filled the walk with stories, who argued in class, who ate someone's meat pie, how she answered a question the teacher asked. But that afternoon, she held my hand tightly and said nothing. When we reached home, she went straight to her room. No food. No talking. No phone. She just lay on her bed, staring at the wall. I stood at her doorway, watching her. Her small body looked so fragile, curled like a leaf. She was only 15, but her silence was the silence of someone carrying a world too heavy. After some time, I walked in and sat beside her. "Mabna, do you want to talk to me?" I asked softly. She blinked fast, as if she was holding tears. "I'm fine, Ma." "You are not fine," I said. "I saw you crying today. I saw you touching your stomach. Something is wrong." She sat up quickly. No, I'm okay. I'm just tired. School is stressful. Exams are coming." Her words were too neat, too arranged, like someone reading from a script they memorized. I didn't believe her. But I also didn't want to push too hard. When you pressure a closed door too violently, sometimes it breaks in the wrong way. So I breathed in slowly and said, "All right. If you say so." She nodded, relieved, but her eyes were still full of fear. Later that evening, she went to bathe. When the bathroom door closed, I took a deep breath and walked to her room again. I didn't want to search her things. I felt guilty. She was my daughter, not a suspect. But the fear in my heart pushed me forward. Her school bag lay beside the bed. I opened it gently. Books, pens, notes. Then a small perfume bottle. Then a pack of gum. Nothing strange. I was about to stop when my hand touched something at the bottom, soft fabric. I pulled it out. It was her corset. And suddenly, something fell from it, something tiny, wrapped in tissue. My heart stopped. I picked it up. My hands trembled. Inside the tissue was a pregnancy test strip. Unused. New. But why would a 15-year-old girl have this? I held the test with shaking fingers, my breath freezing in my chest. I felt the air around me change, heavier, colder. Footsteps. The bathroom door opened. Before I could hide the test, Mabna walked into her room. She saw it in my hand. For a moment, time stopped. Her eyes widened, her mouth opened, and she dropped her towel on the floor. Ma, please. I can explain," she whispered. My voice shook. "Explain what, Mabna? Why do you have this? Who gave it to you?" She covered her face with both hands. I. "Ma, please don't be angry." "I'm not angry," I said, but my voice was breaking. "I am scared. Very scared." "What is this?" Then she sank to the floor slowly, knees touching the tiles, hands shaking. "Ma, I think something is wrong with me." Her whole body trembled. My heart nearly stopped. I knelt beside her. "What is wrong? Tell me now." She looked up at me, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Ma." Her voice cracked like a breaking plate. "I've missed my period." The room spun around me. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. No sound came from my mouth. The world felt like it was closing in. You're only 15, I whispered. "How? Who? When?" She shook her head wildly. I don't know. Please don't hate me, Ma. Please." I pulled her into my arms, but inside me, my heart was shattering piece by piece. Because I knew this was only the beginning. The truth, the real truth, the one that would break me completely, was still hiding. For the next 2 days, the house felt like a room filled with quiet storms. Mabna spoke less. I slept less. And every small sound felt louder, heavier, sharper. I kept watching her, the way she held her stomach sometimes, how she avoided mirrors, how she jumped whenever her phone buzzed. I could see fear written on her face like a tattoo she didn't want anyone to see. But I didn't push her. Not yet. I needed her to trust me. One evening, after making light soup, I called her to eat. She came slowly, sat down, picked up her spoon, then dropped it again. Her hands were shaking so much she couldn't even lift water to her lips. "Come and sit by me," I said gently. She moved to my side, eyes down, shoulders small and weak. She reminded me of the little girl who used to hide behind me when thunder struck. "Mabna," I said quietly, "we need to talk." She swallowed hard. "Ma, please." No shouting. No anger, I promised. "I just need to understand what is happening. Whatever it is, you are my child. Nothing can make me stop loving you. But I need the truth." When she looked up at me, her eyes were full of tears that she had been holding for too long. "Ma, I'm scared," she whispered. I pulled her into my arms. "I am scared too." For a long moment, we just sat there, breathing slowly, holding each other. Then she spoke slowly, painfully. "Ma, I was seeing someone." My heart thudded, but I stayed calm. "Okay," I said. "Who?" She wiped her face. "Someone from school." My skin went cold. "A student." She hesitated too long. "Ivan?" I asked quietly. She froze. That silence was my answer. But before I could speak again, she shook her head quickly, like there was something more, something heavier. "Ma, it's not just Ivan." My breath caught. "What do you mean?" Her lips trembled. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Only tears. "I can't say it," she whispered. I held her face in my palms. "You must. I am your mother." She shook her head again, harder this time, hair falling across her face. "If I tell you, everything will break," she said. "Our life. You, me, everything." Her words stabbed something deep inside me. What could be so terrible? I asked. "Tell me so I can help you." But she just cried harder. And then, her phone buzzed on the table. A message. From a contact saved under the name M.E. I picked up the phone. "M.E. Who is?" Before I could finish, she snatched the phone from my hand with a sharpness I had never seen from her before. "Ma, please, don't open it." Her voice was not the voice of a child anymore. It was desperate. Afraid. Trapped. "Who is M.E.? I asked quietly. She looked away. "No one." But her hands were shaking. And her silence screamed the name I least wanted to hear. That night, long after she had cried herself to sleep, I sat alone in the living room. The darkness felt heavy, like it was trying to speak. I kept thinking about Ivan at the gate, Mr. Edu leaving the shed, Mabna's shaking hands, the pregnancy test, pieces of a puzzle I did not yet want to finish. At midnight, I opened her school bag again, not to search, but because something told me I had missed something the last time. And there it was. A small notebook. Her handwriting on the cover. "Places I want to go." Inside were pages of little dreams, beaches, cafes, parks. But on the last page, a line was written in big, bold letters. "I don't know who the father is." My heart dropped so hard I felt the world tilt. Ivan. Or Mr. Edu. My throat closed. My eyes blurred. My chest felt too small for my lungs. I couldn't breathe. My daughter, my innocent daughter, the one I believed would never hide anything from me, was carrying a secret big enough to destroy all of us. And the worst part, she wasn't ready to tell me the full truth. Not yet. The walls around her were breaking, and I was afraid of what would fall out. For a long moment, everything stood still. Ivan on my left, breathing fast. Mr. Edu on my right, fists clenched. And my daughter, my 15-year-old baby, kneeling in the middle of the road, tears streaming down her face. Cars slowed. People stared. But none of us cared. "Mabna," I whispered, hands shaking. "Get up. You're scaring me." She didn't move. She didn't blink. She just cried like her soul was breaking. Then she looked up at us, at all three of us, and the words came out of her like fire. "You all think you know me. You don't. None of you do." Her voice was shaking, but it was strong enough to silence everyone. Ivan took a step forward, heartbreak written all over his face. "Mabna, you mean everything to me," he whispered. "I thought I was the only one you." She shook her head hard, cutting him off. "Ivan, stop. Please." His jaw dropped. His breath hitched. His eyes screamed the truth. He had no idea she was seeing someone else. Then Mr. Edu spoke, his voice dangerously low. "Wait," he said, staring at her with disbelief. "You were also with him?" His eyes shifted to Ivan. "And with Emmy at the same time?" Mabna broke again, crying into her palms. "I didn't mean for it to happen. I didn't. Ivan's chest rose and fell sharply as the realization hit him. "You were dating the teacher," he whispered, stepping back like someone had stabbed him. "Mabna, how could you do this to me? To yourself?" He covered his face, tears falling silently. His heart shattered in front of all of us. And I, Ma Rose, stood there, feeling my knees weaken. My daughter. My own daughter. 15 years old. Dating her classmate. Dating her teacher. Pregnant. I felt the world collapse under my feet. My voice burst out before I could stop it. "Mabna, what have you done to yourself? To us?" I cried, gripping my chest. "How could you? How could a 15-year-old girl carry secrets like this? Wearing corsets, sneaking out, lying to me. I should have known. I should have known." The pain was too much. I fell to my knees. Right there in the street. And I wept. I wept like a mother who had just been stabbed in the heart. I should have known, I cried. How could a child be wearing corsets every day? How could I ignore the signs? I failed you. I failed myself. I failed everything. My tears soaked the dust beneath me. People watched, but I couldn't stop. My heart wasn't just breaking, it was tearing apart. Ivan knelt too, but not beside me. Beside her. "Mabna," he whispered, voice heavy with pain, "if the baby is mine, I will take responsibility. I love you, even after all this. But tell me the truth. Tell me now." Ma Rose shouted. You think I will forgive you?" Mr. Edu stepped forward sharply. "If the child is mine then," he said, voice trembling, "then I must." "Don't you dare," Ivan shouted, jumping to his feet. "Don't pretend you care. I respected you. How could you do this? You're a grown man. She's a child." A fierce argument exploded between them, anger, shame, guilt, betrayal all boiling over into the air. Ma Rose shouted, "You must do what I will make sure the law deals with you." Her eyes filled with tears. But Mabna screamed louder than both of them. "Stop. All of you stop." She fell forward again, clutching her stomach. And suddenly, everyone froze. Her breathing turned fast, then shaky, then painful. "Ma," she whispered weakly. "Ma, something is wrong." I rushed to her, lifting her head onto my lap. "What is wrong? Tell me." She shook her head slowly, her eyes rolling with fear. "Ma, I didn't tell you everything." Her voice cracked. There is someone else. Ivan and Mr. Edu fell silent instantly. What? I gasped. What are you saying? I'm deeply sorry, Mom. There is. Tears falling down her face. Someone you all don't know, someone dangerous. My heart stopped. What do you mean? I asked, shaking her. Who? She tried to speak, tried to form the words, tried to reveal the truth. But suddenly, her body trembled. Her eyes closed halfway, and she whispered, Ma, please, don't let him find me. Who? I screamed. Who, Mabna? But she didn't answer. She fainted in my arms. Ivan covered his mouth in horror. Mr. Edu stepped back with shock, and I screamed her name into the darkening sky. Mabna. But she didn't move. And at that moment, I realized. The pregnancy was only one part of the truth. Someone dangerous, who had touched my daughter's life without my knowledge. And I was really shocked and scared of my daughter. And that person would finally be revealed in part 2. Thank you so much for watching this story. If it touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps me keep telling stories that heal, inspire, and remind us that we're never truly alone. This is I Told Stories. Stories from the heart. Stories for the soul.